Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, how are you doing? I hope that all of you are doing well. First, let me introduce myself. I am Rizki Al Farisi. I'm a student in the University of Mataram, majoring in English education, and it's my third semester. At this moment, I'm going to explain about phonology. So without further ado, let's get started. All right, everyone. Bef- before, all right, everyone. So here is the table of contents of my presentation. The first one is I'm going to talk about the definition of phonology. After that, I'm going to talk about vowels and the classification of vowels. Then I'm going to explain about consonants and the classification of consonants. After that, I'm going to talk about contrasts or differences between vowels and consonants. And the last one is I'm going to talk about diphthongs. So everyone, let's move on to the definition of phonology. So on this on the screen, you may see that there are two definition of phonology. So the first one is phonology refers either to the representation of the sounds and sounds patterns in a speaker's mental grammar or to the study of the sound patterns in a language or in a human language in general. While Another another definition is phonology refers to subdiscipline within linguistics concerned with the sounds of language. More narrowly, phonology proper is concerned with the function, behavior, and organization of sounds as linguistic items. In short, phonology is the study of the sounds of a language and the ways in which they interact. Now let's now let's move on to the next uh, discussion, which is vowels. So here we have the definition of vowels. Vowels refer to a speech sounds made with often open. So vowels refer to speech sounds made with open vocal tract. So the tongue does not actually touch the upper surface of the vocal tract at any particular place, and the term place of articulation it's not really appropriate. So we have examples here. There is a long E, which is when you say he, or feel, or feel, and etc. And then we also have the short E, like when you say kit, bit, and etc. The other examples here is oi, like when you say boy, koi, and etc. And when you want to say o, or count, how, and etc. Or when you want to say like when you want to say when you want to say you, like book, cook, and etc. So those are the examples of vowels in a word. Now we are going to talk about the classifications of vowels. All right, here we have the front, central, and back vowels. So these vowels, I mean that the front, central, and the back vowels refer to the part of the mouth where the tongue is raised the highest when a particular vowels when a particular vowel is pronounced. For examples, when you say cat, uh, the 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 highest part of the tongue is in the front of the mouth. So that's that's the so so that's the so that is the front vowels, center vowels, and back vowels. Now we are going to talk about the high, mid, and low vowels. So high, mid, and low. So what this mean? Well, high, mid, and low indicate whether the tongue is raised higher or at the or about the same or lower than when it well or lower when than when it is in its resting position. For example, when you say to, uh, the tongue is raised higher than its resting position. So that's the mean of high, mid, and low. After this, all right. Now we are going to explain. Now I'm going to explain about consonants. All right, everyone. Consonants phonetically are sounds produced by closing or narrowing the vocal tract so that the airflow is either prevented or restricted that apparent friction is generated. It is the it is the definition by Constanza and Sklar and Gomi et al. Now let's move on to the classification of consonants. The classification of consonants are divided into three. The first one is for voicing. In voicing, there are two. There are in voicing, then and voicing is divided into two. The first one is voiced. It means vibration of the adjective vocal cords in the larynx. For example, when you say b, d, g, v, and etc. Next is voiceless. It means without vibration of the seized vocal cords in the larynx. For example, f and f and etc. The next classification of consonant is place of articulation. Place of articulation is divided several into some of classification into some section. The first one is bilabial. Bilabial is contact of the lower and upper lips, like when you say b, and etc. Next is labiodental. It means lower lip touching with the upper front teeth. When you say f, f, or v, 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 yes. After that, we have dental. Dental is tongue touching the teeth, like and etc. Alveolar is when the tongue touching the upper alveolar ridge, like the and etc. Next, we have a palatal. Palatal means tongue contacting the hard palate, like when you pronounce er and etc. Next is velar. It means the tongue touching the velum, like k, 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 and the last one is we have a glottal. Glottal means totally or partially tightening the glottis, like when you pronounce h, h and etc. Now the last classification of consonants is manner of articulation. Manner of articulation is divided into several categories. The first one is the stop. The stop means the total obstruction of the outgoing airstream by articulators, or a build-up of intraoral air pressure and the release. The examples are P, voiceless bilabial. Uh, the word examples are pour, happen, and cup. And also there is a B, voiced bilabial, when you pronounce black, rainbow, and knob. Those are the examples of B, the stop. The second is fricative. It means that forcing the breath stream within a construction formed by articulators and the vocal tract. There are two examples. The first one is F, voiceless labiodental, when you say fog, life, and leaf. The second one is we have a voiced labiodental, which is V, when you say vice, river, and live. The third one is we have a affricate. Affricate is a combination of stop and a fricative manner of production or articulation. The example is j, voiced alveolar, when you say joke, badger, and etc. The fourth one is we have a nasal. Nasal is a complete closure of the oral cavity and a lowered or soft palate to allow airflow through the nasal cavity. For example, M, voiced bilabial, when you pronounce mark, among, and ram, and etc. and so on. And next we have a N, voiced alveolar, when you say near, knife, and so on. The fifth, we have a liquid. Liquid means generic label used to classify two English approximant consonant sounds. The examples are L and R. L is a voiced alveolar, when you say look, typology, and call, and so on. The last one is glide. It means a continued gliding motion of the articulators through the following vowel. For example, W, voiced bilabial, when you pronounce where, to, and where, and so on. Now the next discussion is we will talk about the differences between vowels and consonants. So the first differences is a vowel is a speech sound made with your mouth. Okay, a vowel is a speech sound made with your mouth fairly open, the nucleus of a spoken syllable, while a consonant is a sound made with your mouth fairly closed. The next difference is there are 5 vowels, which is A, E, I, U, O. And then in consonants we have a 21 and consonants, while consonants have 21 alphabets or characters. The last difference is a vowel produced with no obstruction, while a consonant produces a vowel produces with no obstruction, while a consonant produces with some obstruction. That's the last difference between vowels and consonants. Now let's talk about the diphthong. So it is the last discussion of my presentation. So diphthong derived from Greek word diphthongos, which means two sounds. and diphthong refers to the sounds which consist of a movement or glide from one vowel to another vowel. Now let's have a look on the examples of diphthong here. The first one, we have a AE sound, AE diphthong. For example, when you say day, pay, pain, face, if you so that's the examples of AE diphthongs. Next, we have a AE. When you AE diphthongs, when you say sky, tide, time, nice, and etc. The third one is we have a OE, which OE diphthong, which there are several examples here, such as boy, toy, voice, void, and etc. The fourth one is we have a like diphthong. When you say beer, beard, here, and bear. The fifth diphthong is like when you say bear, pear, hair, and etc. The sixth is we have a like to, like when you say tour, poor, or the first syllable of tourist. The seventh, we have a OU, like oh, no, so, or phone. So those are the examples of OU diphthong. And the last one is we have a U diphthong, A and U diphthong, like loud, gown, and house, and so on. So everyone, that's the discussion of phonology. Thank you so much for your attention. And the last I say, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening.